Please rise for a pledge of allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This is an open meeting of the Seward, Nebraska governing body. The City of Seward abides by the Nebraska Open Meetings Act in conducting business. A copy of the Nebraska Open Meetings Act is displayed on the north wall of this meeting room facility as required. Disclosure of meeting recording processes is posted in the meeting room. A participant sign-in sheet is available for use by any citizen addressing the council. Presenters shall approach the podium, state their name and address for the clerk's record, and are asked to limit remarks to 5 minutes. All remarks shall be directed to the mayor, who shall determine by whom any appropriate response shall be made. The City of Seward reserves the right to adjust the order of items on this agenda if necessary, and may elect to take action on any of the items listed. Please call the roll.
Wilkin.
Present.
Beck. Here. Camper.
Here.
Fritz.
Here.
Miller.
Here.
Singleton.
Here.
Schmidt.
Here.
Camp.
Here.
The first item this evening is the consideration of approval of draft minutes of budget work session on August 16, 2016.
Move to approve.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, please register your votes. Please display the votes.
Voting yes are Wilkin, Beck, Camper, Fritz, Miller, Singleton, Schmidt, and Hams.
Item number 2, consideration of approval of draft minutes of August 16, 2016 City Council meeting.
Move. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, please register your votes. Please display the votes.
Voting yes are Hams, Schmidt, Singleton, Miller, Fritz, Camper, Beck, and Wilkin.
Item 3, consideration of consent agenda.
Move. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, please register your votes. Please display the votes.
Voting yes are Wilkin, Beck, Camper, Fritz, Miller, Singleton, Schmidt, and Hams.
Item 4, this is a public hearing. Notice of 2016-2017 budget hearing and budget summary on adopting a different property tax levy from prior year. We have A through E. Bruce, did you want to start?
Well, I just want to make sure everybody understands that we're not adopting a different levy than what we have in the past. It's just because the valuation went up, the levy remained the same, but the amount of money that we're collecting went up a little bit. So that's why they say it's a different tax levy. It's really not. We're getting more tax dollars, but the same mill levy. So that's the most important thing. So we're asking for the increase of 1% in restricted funds. We always do that. It just gives us a little more leeway in the future in case we need to raise a little bit of money. And then we've got the budget forms that Ryan fills out. Ryan Berger is here. He does the state forms. He's also our auditor. And then again, we're asking the property tax, and that's again, the levy. The mill levy is the same. The amount that we're getting in taxes has changed a little bit. So, and then you're approving the budget.
Any questions or comments from the council? I'll just go ahead and read this. Item A, this is the 2016-2017 budget hearing and budget summary on support, opposition, criticism, suggestions, or observations regarding the proposed city budgets and setting the final tax request at a different amount than the prior year tax request, which includes an additional 1% increase in restricted funds and authorization to file documents. I'll go ahead and open the public hearing portion of this, and then I'll come back to the council in case there's any other questions or comments. Does anyone from the public wish to comment on item 4? Seeing no one wishing to comment, I'll go ahead and close the public hearing portion of this and return to the council. Are there any questions or comments at this time?
Well, they did a good job. Good job. Good job. Good thing. Turn around. I love the summary sheet you put together. Thank you so much. Much for that to look at and know exactly where we're at in each department. So.
Yeah, I just to add to that, you know, Bruce and Bonnie and everyone at City Hall really came together and did do a good job. Doing it a little differently takes a little bit more time because you want to make sure you're doing it right and you don't want to have to keep reinventing the wheel. And so I think we have a good wheel at this point to move forward with. So I do also wanna say thanks to them for all their hard work. John?
Yeah, I also agree. One other item though, will we get updates like we talked about, like quarterly or mid-year?
Yes.
Quarterly would be great. So
Yeah, we're planning on doing it quarterly. The thing we always have to remember is our tax dollars come in, you know, 3 times a year basically. So if you look, it may look like we're losing money and then we get a spike and then we go like this. So one of the things we'll be coming back to council with a later date is right now we collect the occupation taxes from ourselves, from like the electric, water and sewer at the very end of the fiscal year. And so again, we're losing all this money and then we get a big bounce at the end. And I want to make it to where we can kind of follow our cash flow a little bit better. So we'll be coming back and asking for a change in collection from ourselves basically on a quarterly basis. And so Kelly and I are working on that.
Unless there's any other questions or comments, item B, this is consideration of approval of an additional 1% increase in restricted funds. I would entertain a motion for that approval.
Move for approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, please register your votes. Please display the votes.
Voting yes are Wilken, Beck, Camper, Fritz, Miller, Singleton, Schmidt, and Hance.
Item C, this is consideration of approval of 2016-2017 budgets and authorized filing of budget forms. Is there any further discussion? Ryan, did you want to add anything to any of this before we, okay. All right, if there are any questions, of course, Ryan is here to help. So I would entertain a motion for that approval as well.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, please register your votes. Please display the votes.
Voting yes are Hance, Schmidt, Singleton, Miller, Fritz, Camper, Beck, and Wilken.
All right. Then item D, this is consideration of a resolution for 2016-2017 property tax request, different from property tax request for a prior year. I would need someone to introduce the resolution.
Oh, there it is.
The resolution has been introduced and is designated as resolution number 2016-19. Would anyone like to move that this resolution be passed and adopted?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, please register your votes. Please display the votes.
Voting yes are Wilken, Beck, Camper, Fritz, Miller, Singleton, Schmidt, and Hance.
Item E, consideration of an ordinance for adoption of the city budgets to appropriate sums for necessary expenses and liabilities to provide for an effective date and include an additional 1% increase in restricted funds. Yeah. I think so.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks for making that awkward.
I'll wake up.
Now I'm just flustered. I don't even know what to do.
You're just ready.
You're fine.
All right, so thank you. So would someone like to introduce the ordinance?
I'll introduce it.
All right. An ordinance to adopt the budget statements to be termed the budget and annual appropriation bill to appropriate sums for necessary expenses and liabilities, which includes an additional 1% increase in restricted funds to provide for an effective date, to provide for publication of this ordinance in pamphlet form. The ordinance has been read by title and is designated as ordinance number 2016-15, and the title is hereby approved. I need a motion to dispense with statutory rule.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, please register your votes. Please display the votes.
Voting yes, Hance, Schmidt, Singleton, Miller, Fritz, Camper, Beck, and Wilken.
Again, this is ordinance number 2016-15. Would anyone like to move that this ordinance be passed and adopted as read?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Then the question is, shall ordinance number 2016-15 be finally passed and adopted? Please register your vote. Please display the votes.
Voting yes, Wilken, Beck, Camper, Fritz, Miller, Singleton, Schmidt, and Hance.
This is the only ordinance for this evening, so I'll need one final motion to make the ordinance a part of the permanent record.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Please register your votes. Please display the votes.
Voting yes are Wilken, Beck, Camper, Fritz, Miller, Singleton, Schmidt, and Hance.
Can I say one thing? on both?
Yes.
I just want to say thank you for the pats on the back, but Ryan was a big help, and then Terry Galloway that came in and helped us work on the budget. And we couldn't have done it without those two guys, so we really appreciate their help too.
Thank you. Item number 5, consideration of claim from Jesse Bremer, 233 East Robert Street for personal property damage. Bruce?
It's the same storm, they blew a tree down, but she didn't get her claim in until now. Like always, so far we've denied the claim and we sent it to our insurance company.
I move that we deny the claim, so it goes to insurance.
We have a motion to deny the claim and submit it to the insurance company. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, please register your votes. Please display the votes.
Voting yes are Hant, Schmidt, Singleton, Miller, Fritz, Camper, Beck, and Wilkin.
Item 6, consideration of street closure crossing Highway 15 for Seward County Chamber and Development Partnership Annual Holiday Parade Permit on November 26, 2016. Sue, did you want to say anything?
If anybody needs me to.
Okay. I believe it's the same parade route that's been done in the past
Yeah.
for the lighted parade.
For the lighted parade and the
Okay.
4th of July parade, it's exactly the same.
Okay. Are there any, just to remind the council members, especially those who may be new, because it crosses a highway, we need to have the council take action, so we submit this. Normally, we can approve normal street closures through the administration, but because of the highway crossing, the state needs the council to sign off on it. So that's the reason for it. Any other questions or comments? Otherwise, we entertain a motion.
Move to approve.
We have a motion, is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, please register your votes. Please display the votes.
Voting yes, Wilkin, Beck, Camper, Fritz, Miller, Singleton, Schmidt, and Hant.
All right, thank you. Item number 7, city administrator's report.
Report's in your packet, a couple things on it. The water tower they'll start the painting this week. They'll sandblast the outside or power wash it, and then they'll be painting it. I think we've got a new design. It's probably gonna have the fireworks around it, but we need to make sure that those are dark enough to where they're not gonna fade and we'll be able to see it. We did have the Concordia work on it too, so we're gonna kinda combine some things, but it should look really nice. It'll take a couple of months though, it's a big project, but they don't spray the paint on the outside, they actually roll it, so we don't have to worry about the drift. So that's a good thing. Tim Rickdig, our water superintendent, was on Pure Nebraska today, that television show. They were doing a story on nitrates, so they were talking with the NRD, and then he also went out and looked at our treatment plant, water treatment plant, and talked to Tim. So that's on 10/11. Again, it's Pure Nebraska, so that was a nice story. We got a thank you from Laura Grunt Road on the dog park. Sorry, I'm sure I said that wrong, but she just wanted to know how much they appreciate the dog park. And I think so far it's gone really well. Still got a little bit more work to do out there, but it's going good. That's it.
Any questions or comments for Bruce's report? Otherwise, I entertain a motion to accept the report.
So moved.
We have a motion and a second. Please register your votes. Please display the votes.
Voting yes, Wilkin, Beck, Camper, Fritz, Miller, Singleton, Schmidt, and Hant.
Item 8, future requests for council agenda items or administrative action. Yes, John?
If we could next meeting, just give us, everybody an update on the Columbia houses where we stand. That would be a nice thing to do for them people, so they can see maybe some results too.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I'm just, give us an update so
Yeah,
they
yeah,
can
yeah.
see it's on the
I think we
agenda.
have all that pretty much prepared, but we can get that out to the council as well.
Yeah, I'd like to see that.
Okay. You want it on the agenda to discuss, or do you just want to?
Let's put it on the agenda to discuss and report
Okay.
out.
Any other requests? Alright. Item number 9, announcements of upcoming events. September 23rd, 1:30 p.m. Seward Student Council Homecoming Parade east of high school to Pinewood Avenue to elementary school and back to the high school. This is a different parade route than what's been done traditionally where they go downtown, so just be aware of that. On September 30th, 6 to 9 p.m., Casey's Quest Zombie Walk begins at 5th Street between Highway 34 and Seward Street, north on 5th Street to Robert Street, east on Robert Street to 3rd Street, south to 3rd Street to Bradford Street, east on Bradford Street to 1st Street, south on 1st Street to Seward Street, west on Seward Street to 3rd Street. You got that? Yeah. Good? So, they've done this in the past, and I think it's a neat event that is pretty well attended. Item C, November 26th, 5:30 p.m. annual holiday lighted parade, 1st and Seward Streets, west to 13th Street. Does anyone else have any other announcements? Otherwise, I entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
The motion, is there a second? We have a motion and a second. Please register your votes. Please display the votes.
Voting yes, Wilken, Beck, Camper, Fritz, Miller, Singleton, Schmidt, and Hanson.
Thank you all. Have a good night.
Well, it's done.